Hello and welcome to Mastering Power BI video series. This is video number 5. In this video, we are going to talk about table and matrix visualization. Without much ado, let's load the data set in the Power BI and let's try to understand when to go for table, when to go for matrix visualization, and what is the major difference between them. All right, so I am starting afresh with a new Power BI file. Now we need to go ahead and load the data set which we are going to use for creating the table visualization and the matrix visualization. So let's go ahead and load the data set. So I'm going to go ahead and in the home tab, click on the Excel workbook, and the file which I'm going to use for this exercise is this one, and it's a perfectly cleaned data. We are not going to do any kind of transformations here. We're going to simply load the data and start working on it right away. So this is the data we want to take it. So we're going to choose that and we're going to directly load that into the Power BI for the visualizations. As mentioned earlier in every video, if you are interested in learning more on the data transformation side, more on the Power Query side, I will leave the link for my Power Query video series. Please check out and you will get a lot of insights on the Power Query side. Because this video series is focusing on the Power BI side, we are not going to jump deep into the transformation sides. Okay. All right, here we got the data set loaded, and sheet 1 is from where I got my data, okay, or which contains my data. So I'm going to rename this here. Instead of sheet 1, I'm going to say it's sales data. Okay, I've renamed my query. Let's go ahead and start creating the table visualization now. So let's go ahead to the home tab, and I'm going to pick up the table visualization from the insert group. So I'm going to click on it and the table visualization got created. Now all I have to do, just drag this guy just next to our side where we could access the columns of the data. So I'm going to go ahead to the view tab. I'm going to deactivate the filter pane, the build pane, and the format pane. We're just going to keep only the data pane right now. So let's go ahead and bring it inside. So table visualization, when we say, okay, so when I get the build pane, you could see, let me zoom it for you guys. You could see there's only one section where you can drag and drop the fields, which is simply columns. So whatever I'm going to drag and drop here in this area, it's going to create separate columns for it. So there is no concept like, something you can see column wise and something you can see row wise. Meaning, suppose let's say I want to see salesperson in row wise, sales territory in column wise, and I want to see how each salesperson in each territory has given me the sales. Well, that's not possible in table visual. Let me show you what I'm talking to you. So let me bring out the salesperson here, and then sales, and then let's bring the unit supplied or the bill amount what we got from each salesperson. Now you can see that salesperson wise, we got the total bill amount. Let's say for each salesperson, I want to know how much he has done in each territory. So if I try to bring that and put it in between the salesperson and the bill amount, look at the way it is going to give it to me in this fashion only. So I've got a new column created for the territory, and each salesperson has been mapped to the respective sales territory and has been given to me in this way. So I could see only by one column allocated for one field, and the items inside those field are given to me in the form of a rows. So this becomes really difficult for me when I want to do a comparative study based on two different categorical items. So when is the right time to go for table visual? If you want to analyze multiple numerical values against one category, then this is amazing. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So let's say I want to study about, for each salesperson wise, how many units he has sold and what's the bill amount he has made. So I can activate the unit supplied, I can activate the bill amount, and this is something really easy to consume and understand it. So that's where the table visualization comes into play. So purely one categorical item, but I can have multiple numerical fields for the analysis. Example, product wise, I can study what's the number of units sold, the cost involved, the revenue we made, the profit what we made, all those I can study in a single table. Okay, so one non-numeric, multiple numeric table visual is the best one. So let's check about what are the customizations available for table. So I'm going to take out the bill amount, keep the units applied alone in the view so that we could see what are the options available for formatting. So let's go ahead and bring the format pane right now. So click on format pane. Now watch closely here. Again, a couple of things are common here. We are going to see the same things what we have seen already in the bar and column charts, line and area charts. Okay, again here. So we do have an option called title. I can turn it on and I can put my own title saying that this is salesperson wise the unit sold. So I can just click inside and I can start typing salesperson wise units sold. So this is my table. So I've given a title for it. Now when I click on the visual, I get to see what are the choices I've got to work on the title text. These are pretty straightforward in explaining what are the customizations available here. So that's for the title. What else I can do with respect to the look and feel of the table? Now this is something interesting which you do not get in other visual, but you do get in the table and in the matrix. Watch this one, which is called style presets. The one which we are seeing right now is a default, but when I click here, I get a hell of a lot of choices. But let's say I say none. So it's pure, simple, nothing, no shaded rows or something like that. And if I go to minimal, this is something you could have seen it in a couple of Power BI reports. People are fond of going for these kind of pre-built styles. Um, this one, this one. So there's a lot. I don't want to go into each one, but this is one you should really try. If you are trying to synchronize the table or the matrix visual with your page background color or the theme color. Yeah, so definitely a place to look for it. And remember that once you have chosen, you can even go ahead and customize those things also by going into each of these sites. So I want to put it back into the default. Now, one thing which I want you guys to learn from table visual, which is quite common question during the trainings, is how do I increase the font size? Right now, I'm zooming it and presenting it to you so that the font size is looking pretty decent. But if you are creating this, the font size will be really lesser. Watch it. This is the way it will normally look. Now, if you want to increase the font size, now you could do that by going to each field precisely. So it means I have to go to the values and I have to start working on the values first. Okay, so watch this. When I try to go ahead and increase, it's trying to increase the values, but not the text of the header. Okay, that something is not happening. So let me reset to defaults. Now, is there one place where I can go ahead and work on the fonts of everything, header, the categorical side, the value side, the total side? Can I increase them uniformly? The answer is absolutely yes. So watch closely. If I go to the grid section and if I go to the options, there is something called global font size. Let me zoom it for you guys. Under the grid section, under the options, there is something called global font size. Let me bring the visual here. Watch this. When I start increasing it, so the entire font size of the visual is uniformly increasing it. So you don't have to do it by a column specific, header specific, total specific, not required. In one go, you can increase it. Now, let's say I'm going to keep it at a font size of 14. Now, let me collapse this to get back to the remaining sections. Example, if I want to work on the total text, the total value text formats, if I go and check, remember the global font size you kept was 14 and you could see here it was 14. Suppose if I want to work on the column header text, look at the font size, it's 14. So that means global font size is one area which you should never forget when you really want to uniformly increase it, or else if you have too many columns, this becomes too much work for you to work on your visual. Okay, so we got the headers, we got the totals, we got the values, everything got uniformly adjusted. Apart from this, if you want to do anything specific to specific columns, specific headers, specific totals, absolutely you can go and customize them. So for example, I can make my total text color in a different, so you can see here the total value text color got changed. Would I love to have a background for it? I can have it something like this. I can do the same thing even for a column header. Now, what else is so special in a table visualization? Remember that in Excel, you can do something called conditional formatting, and that is possible even in Power BI when you got a table visualization or a matrix visualization. So let me show you where you need to go and do the conditional formatting. So you need to go to the cell elements, and then you need to decide which column value should be highlighted based on the condition what you're going to set. Now in my case, I want to highlight the sum of units supplied, so I'm going to click here and choose sum of units supplied. And or let's say I want to highlight the salesperson name if they have done the sales more than 28 or 2,80,000. So I go ahead and choose salesperson is the place where the settings should get applied to. And would I want to change the cell color or the text color? What I want to do here is the cell color, so precisely that's called background color. So we're going to click here, and it takes me to this dialog box where I can apply my settings here. So the rules is basically going to be applied on the units applied. What field should we base this on? So the condition should be applied on which field? That's what it's asking. And what's the condition you want to keep it? If the value is more than 2,80,000, and it's not on percent, it's number, and more than or equal to 2,80,000, less than or equal to, I'm going to keep 9,99,999. Okay, and I can say this is the color I'm looking for. Let's say, for example, I choose a shade. If you would love to go for more colors, you can even pick. I want to pick up the green shade. I want to pick up this one. I'm perfectly fine with it. So green color has been picked up, and we have set the condition. We're going to click OK, and you could see the salesperson who has done more than 2,80,000 got highlighted with the color which you customly picked up from the color palette. So conditional formatting, if you're really fond of it, then the one area which you should be looking at is the cell elements. Yeah. So anything specific to certain columns, you got here. Specific to totals, you got here. Column headers and value sections, grid sections for the global font size, styles for the table styles. The rest of the things we would be talking about as and when the real context comes in. So that's all about you got for the table visualization. So to quickly wrap it up for the table side, remember, table is meant for one non-numeric and multiple numeric. What are the special things you can do in a table visualization? You do have a lot of presets, the style presets, which you can go and pick it to make your table to look really cool. And after picking up, still you want to customize it, you can customize it. And what is the other thing you can do over here is you can apply conditional formatting on one column based on another column values. Absolutely, it's going to do it for you. And the place you have to go for that is the cell element. And the other thing what you understood, if you want to increase the font size of the entire visualization, the place to go for is the grid section and the global font size. Rest is all for you to go ahead and explore it. And now we're going to move on to the matrix visualization. So what I'm going to do is move this guy a little to the left side, and let's bring in the matrix or matrix visualization. So let me go ahead and pick it up from the home tab, or you can pick it from the build pane, or you can pick it from the insert tab. wherever you go, it's the same visual. So let's go ahead and pick up the matrix from the home tab. So here is my matrix visualization. So I'm going to take this to the right side, so we keep it very near to this. So build section we don't need anymore, so let's go ahead and take that out. So build pane we don't need, but we need the data and the format. We're going to keep both of them. All right, so what is something matrix can do what table cannot do? We understood that when you brought the table visualization, you had only one section called columns. But if you watch, when I bring in the build section for you again, if you watch this time in the build section, you got three areas to drag and drop your fields, which is rows, columns, values. Just like your pivot table field list dialog box. Remember the four sections of your pivot table: the row label, the column label, the values. The only thing which you do not have here is the filters section of your pivot, but the filtering can be done using the slicers here, which we'll be seeing up very shortly in the coming up videos. So right now I can drag and drop any number of fields in these sections and it's going to play its magic. So let's try to put each field in one, and then let's see how the representation comes in. So let's get the salesperson in the row wise and the sales territory in the column wise and the bill amount in the value section. So look at the way it has created the visualization for us. Let's present it to you like this. Now you can see, just like your pivot, one in the row, one in the column, and this was the one I was expecting last time, to do a comparative study how each salesperson is performing in each territory. Matrix is the one which can give that to me. All right, so we could see something is there and it is pretty advantageous. Absolutely agreed. And can I do anything else here? Well, whatever I'm going to show you, you can even do that in the table visualization as well. Suppose, let's say you don't want to have a sum, you want to have an average. You can definitely click on this outward pointing arrow in the value section, and here you can see summarization which says sum. You can change that to average. So now you could actually see the average bill amount generated by each salesperson in each territory. All right, can I bring in the bill amount one more time? Is it possible to have it? Let's try to do that and see what happens right now, because in pivot you can drag and drop the fields any number of times in the value section. So I'm going to check whether that is allowed for me here in the Power BI matrix visualization. I'm going to drag it and drop it one more time. Yes, it does allow it, just like my pivot table, and it is presenting to me in this fashion. Okay, so I could drag and drop the same field how many other times I wanted. So that's something we have tested it and we got it. Now let's see what else table cannot do and matrix can do. Now watch closely here. I'm going to show you something which is quite interesting stuff here. So let's bring the product category. Let's bring the product category and drop it in the rows section. So let's see what happens when I drag and drop it here. Now watch closely on the visualization. You got something like a plus sign. That means I can click and expand it and I can see. So the product category is coming inside the salesperson as a subsection, just like you get it in the pivot table. Now, is there a way in pivot I can change the layout the way I'm seeing the subsection? Is it possible for me to do that? So first, let me expand all the section. I can right click and I can say expand and say entire level. We got the entire level got expanded for every salesperson. Now the next thing, can I push these guys to the next column instead of keeping it inside the same column? So I'm going to go to the format section right now, and I'm going to go to the layout and style presets. Remember, in table visualization, you got style presets, but there was no something called layout. But here you got layout presets. When I click here, let's go to the layout. Just like your pivot, there is compact, there is outline, there is tabular. I'm going to go for outline, and watch it. It got split into a separate column, just like your pivot. And if you are much fond of tabular, then you can also get the tabular. The only thing is the subtotal start appearing at the bottom level. In outline, it will be on the top. It's up to your desire, what you would love to see, how you would love to see. Okay, you can keep the sections. All I'm showing you is the way you can adjust these settings in the format section as per your requirements. So I'm going to say, why don't you put it back into the way it was earlier, and I'm going to collapse these guys again. So collapse all. So now we got collapsed. Now watch closely. Something here we want you to look at very carefully. Whenever you bring in more than one field in the row or in the column, you will start looking at something on the top right called drill down, drill up. Okay, so this is something which is quite amazing to present. Watch it. I'm going to turn on the drill down. That means we're trying to go one level down. So watch here. I can go to one level down or all the way down. So watch closely. One level I'm expanding it. So inside the salesperson, the one level down was the product category. So when I'm talking to the people, I can show them, hey, this is what the performance on product category level, and this is what the performance on salesperson level. Can I see them both? Well, absolutely yes. When you go for the next one, which says expand all down one level. So when I click, it's gonna present in this way, like you clicked and expanded all. So this is quite amazing when you have multiple fields and presenting to the people. Let me bring it back to the top again by clicking this and turning off the drill down option. Let's try to do something interesting here. I'm going to take the sales territory as well. I'm going to put it on the row section. Now your watch this, your matrix got adjusted like this. Now watch closely. I can use the drill down again, and I can go by one level, which is product category, again by one level, which is sales territory. I'm going to come back up by one level, come back up by one level, and there's no more further because it's grayed out. It tells me that's a final level on the top, and I can expand all down one level, which is salesperson wise the product category. One more level I can go down, which is salesperson wise, product category wise, and territory wise. That's the maximum level I can get into. So I can come back again by clicking on this drill up and coming back, and then I can turn off the drill down and I can come back to the normal way how the visual was earlier. So that is something very much possible when you have a matrix visualization. Remember, in matrix visualization, to remember easily, it is exactly similar to a pivot table kind of a structure. You can have one field in the row wise, one field in the column wise, and you can put your values, and you can have multiple fields in the row wise, multiple fields in the column wise. Remember, you can expand them, collapse them, either manually or using the drill down or drill up options, which are available on the top right corner. All right, and rest of the things are quite same with respect to titles, uh, and then something related to the conditional formattings. All those are still the same. So you can decide where the colors have to go and what all those you can do exactly the same way like how you learned in the table visualization. So that's it for the matrix, and that's it for the table visualization. So we will meet again in the next video with another visualization. Until then, take care of yourself. Signing off, Hariharan.